Today I want to go over some specific functional exercises that I see that you guys can all use. So I'm just going to get started right away. So this seems so easy, but I want to give you some things to really kind of build strength and stability around the larger joints of your body, like the hips and the pelvis and the core. So you're going to stand, feet together, heel-toe together. That's very important. And really try to lock in everything. Tuck your tail slightly under, really engage your core, meaning that you're going to draw the rib cage down and make sure this is nice and taut, that you're not protruding into your belly, but that you're really activating your core. Keep everything together. See if you can do this. At first, your balance is not going to be all there, because the fact of the matter is most of you complain about the nervous system or the nerve pain, right? And so the reality is that we do have inflammatory cytokines. They do attack our nerve cells. And so the conductivity is not as good as before we were diagnosed. So we're always fighting that synaptic channel. And so my goal is to make sure that channel going forward stays nice and strong, because the more you use it, the more it gets stronger. And it is true, if you don't use it, you do lose it quite fast. Muscles atrophy really fast, so I want to teach you guys to simply engage in exercises to stay strong, okay? So you have to do this with determination. Heel-toe together, shoulder roll back, really keep an open chest, right? Elbows out to the side. Tuck your tail slightly under, really engage your core, and see if, without touching the wall, or you may touch the wall initially, but come high up on my toes, or high up on your toes. Make sure that the heel toe is nice and straight together, that the inner thighs are really contracting together. And then all your muscles are going to be surprisingly like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of muscle activation. And then you're going to come down as slow as possible, as if you're on an elevator. A lot of my patients, they'll come up and then they'll collapse really fast because they don't have that stability, right? So go up real slow onto your toes, right? That's going to really strengthen your calves, your thighs, your glutes, your core, your posture. And then come down as slow as possible. And this is harder, so hard. And make sure that you are looking at my feet, right? Heel, toe together, heels stay together, and that's key. And it's so hard not to lose balance, but it does a lot of muscles in my legs. Those muscles that stopped working a while back, right? We get depressed. We don't want to go outside. We can't see the sun, so we start getting not lazy, but we can't move as well as we used to. So it's harder to think about moving. So I'm teaching you simple things you can do. You can do this like 10 times a day, and I promise the amount of function that you'll get back because of this, it's just immeasurable. Go up nice and tall, and then come down nice and slow. And I've done that like 5 times, and I kid you not, my heart rate is just going up, and my thighs and my glutes and all the muscles down my calves are like telling me, oh my gosh, you have not used them for a while. And so it's going to get a little bit of a time to get used to. Feel free to like stand against the wall, go up, and then go down as slow as possible. Defying gravity, and that's key, right? This teaches us proprioception, it teaches us balance, and it teaches us stability, and it even provides core training, as well as all the muscle activations that we need daily basis to walk effectively. And I told you guys about my experience, right? No rhyme or reason. I can just fall and collapse on the streets of San Francisco or on a hike. So I just have to really work on my proprioception and balance. And I do that vigilantly in my yoga classes to make sure I never lose this. Another thing I want you to do is I want you to place your hands on your hips, go high up on your toes again. Sink your left heel down as you bend your right knee, and then see if you can stand on that left leg. And work up to about 30 seconds. Initially, it's going to be like shaking a lot. Don't worry so much about, how long you do it, but just that over time, as you revisit this, that you'll get better and better at it. Make sure, again, posture is everything. Shoulder rolled back, Open your chest and really keep that nice stability through your spine, including your core. Gently bring that down. Let's do the other side. Go high up on your toes. Sink your right heel this time. Bend your left knee and bring it up. Open everything and stay there and see, because usually one side of the hip lacks more stability. And so you're going to be a little bit more unstable on one side versus the other. And then you're going to bring it back. And eventually you should be able to do that, no problems. So now a simple one. I want you to take a wide stance out so that when you bend your knees, when you look down, that the knee is in line with the second toe, okay? And then that when you go down, that the knee is pointing out, but the knee is behind the toes. And your weight is more towards the heels of your feet. And then come up. So this is called a wallflower, right? I want you to tuck your tail slightly forward and go down and slowly come up. We're going to do this, 8 more times. 2 and back. You know what? Everything applies here too. Proper posture means shoulder rolled back, nice and tall spine. Go down and back up. Make sure, because we have an unstable instability in our joints, if the knees are not lined up when you bend and it goes past your toes, you can get some meniscal or ligamentous damage. So don't put yourself in that position, right? So let's say this is 5 and 6. Go slow as possible. So if you're going to waste a breath or a minute of your time, make it count. So do it as slow as possible. And most of you, if you guys are following, you guys know how much tension this is developing in your thigh muscles. So if you can generate enough endurance over time, stay down, tuck your tail even more. And then I want you to oscillate back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come all the way up, heel toe your feet together, and then shake them out. So that wasn't so bad, but I know most of you guys are like, phew, that was a lot. So I have a chair behind me. So now we're going to stretch. We're going to keep the left knee stays bent. I'm like at the tippy edge of my chair, so I have room to go forward, right? So I'm going to extend my right leg, bring my toes up toward my shin, and then I'm going to hinge forward from my hips and then stretch my hamstrings here on my right side, right? Keep my shoulders back is huge. So I don't want you to hunch over like this because we're already there. And that's most of our problem, right? Being hunched over. So I want you to pull up and out of your pelvis, nice tall spine, and then hinge forward from the hips to really get that stretch behind your knees. If your hamstring length is good and that doesn't provide enough stretch for you, then you can lie on your back and do it a different way. Just make a comment to me. Like, I'm not feeling anything on my hamstrings right now because my hamstrings are really, really loose because I've worked on them for the last 19 years. So if that's the case with you, please make a comment to me and then I'll show you different ways to kind of start to push yourself. Come back. So that's the hamstring stretch. We're going to just gently twist, bring your right hand on the outside of the left knee, and then reach the left hand behind you, and then twist gently and hold, and back. Important to remember to keep the pelvis squared forward, right? Left hand on the outside of the right knee, reach the right hand behind you, and really twist back and forward, okay? And then from there, I want you to come high up on your toes, sit up nice and tall, right? Come high up on your toes, bring your hands next to you, and see if you can lift your toes up and down. This is really hard. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. It's important to remember to keep your spine perpendicular to the surface that you're sitting on. It's really taxing for your core, which is the powerhouse. As they say in my Pilates training, that this is the foundation of your house. If this isn't strong, you're going to fall apart. So it's important to strengthen those things, right? So now we're going to end with some stretches. Bring your right ankle on top of the left knee. I showed you this in the last recording on our back, but today I'm going to show you ways to do it when you're sitting. Cross right ankle over on top of the left knee, and then you're going to hinge forward, and you're going to feel this deep stretch in your right hips. Again, a lot of us are at risk for necrosis in our hips, right? I've seen many patients inpatient in the hospital post-op due to total knee or total hip replacements. Total hips more common. That's because of necrosis, necrotic tendencies of lupus, attacking our joints or larger joints. And this kind of keeps the synovial fluids fluid so that it can be metabolized. So we want to flush things out of our joints. And this is a nice little way to do it. And then crossing the left ankle on top of the right knee, hinging forward. And again, keeping shoulders back and nice open posture is key. You're going to feel one side of the hip a lot more than the other. That's completely fine. I want you to do that throughout the day. For the sake of time, I'm kind of going fast, but I want you to really, if you wanted a yin stretch, you can stay in it for a while. Make comments and suggestions on what you want me to address next time, and I will certainly take that into consideration. And thank you so much for those of you who have commented, and that some of you guys did reach out to me and ask me for more tips is why I keep recording these things. So next thing is I want you to sit like a man, right? Some of you work, so this is a good thing to do at work. So I want you to walk your hands down your legs. And as you do so, be careful and then lower your head all the way down. Just hang. Allow your spine to hang on your, off your chair, right? And this is going to be like so great back here. And then let the blood to pull in your head and then come up nice and slow. The key thing is to come up nice and slow and allow your hair or head to come up last. Because that sudden rush of blood pulling to your head and then coming back up, that's going to create a lot of, oh my gosh, dizziness. And if you have hypertension, it can create some issues. Or if you have orthostatic hypotension, that can kind of cause a lot of issues for you. So that's it for today. It's Friday. I'm so excited on every Friday. We have a long weekend ahead of us. And if I don't catch up with you guys over the weekend to kind of give you a status on what I'm up to, have a nice weekend, and I'll see you next time.